Host Mishek Moyo. We are live from Mufrila on 97.7. This is Mafken FM radio. And this very broadcast is being streamed live on our Facebook page and on Radio Garden. And on this special paid for program, we are glad to feature the PF presidential hopeful, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya. Dr. Chilufya is the current Mansa lawmaker and former health minister in the PF government. He joins us live on this broadcast as he discusses his agenda for Zambia. Doc, good evening, and how are you? How has been your Sunday?
Good evening.
Hello, Doc. Good evening. How's been your Sunday? Okay, we seem to be having issues there, but we join Dr. Chitalu Chilufya in a bit. Let's take a breather, Kalonji.
Tetibirizane ndaba kuti upezeke pena kubwere chongo ulipene chitungire msikolini uzengene bwanji nipaje ufikira ku refugees mkamba uzekwanisa kudya binzi yomo ukatoka kuchaiti nikwino tetibirizane ngamba kuti sione kabwino kupeza kuti pena tenanti watibula landroni patient wamenya doctor conductor amenye passenger imwe tizakhala bwanji bilizi ngamba kuti olobai yes anachitokamira love is your neighbor and I'm love and yourself. Nikwino tetibirizane mtendere ndio mutili nawe bilizi tetibirizane omakutikiramo nazimai kalamba na bana tibirizane iwe
Jenjala tundua ngafugolanga ukale maso Ona siku chitika kunja kuchikoni yatawa Atu wango pana kupeteka na wapanda chifundo Kanisa panda ba
Ulumane na tikondane wina nimzache Miria tumia wino Tisaiwo nonge Nifamo zitiko nane Tileme kezane Miria tumia wino Tisaiwo nonge Zikoni dila tutose Tieni tikondane Tiangulane machibongi Jisunge mtendere Zikoni dila tutose Tieni tikondane Tiangulane mamtendere Jisunge chibongi Tingakale wasiana Ziangulo mitundu Mulungu wa
Get it right. We feature PF presidential hopeful Dr. Chitalu Chilufya. Dr. Chilufya is the current Mansa lawmaker and he's former health minister. Dr. Chilufya, we are glad to host you on this special paid for political program. Good evening, and how has been your Sunday?
And good evening, listener. And thank you for having me. My Sunday has been it is a place where we worship, and I had a time of Christmas worshiping, and it's good to end with a fellowship with my fellow citizens countrywide.
Okay. We are remaining with a few days before we get to the PF convention, Dr. Chilufya. How is your bid? How are the campaigns moving? Are you getting the presidency as we go to the PF convention?
Well, let me begin by taking both that I am running for the president. And I stand before you and appear before you, Abhishek, and through you, before all the citizens of Zambia who are tuned in and those in the diaspora. Not as someone who claims to possess all the answers, but as a citizen who refuses to watch our nation's immense potential lie dormant. I am running, I repeat, for president of the Patriotic Front Party. God willing, your support, Lishik, and that of the Zambians, for president of the Republic of Zambia. My conviction is anchored in the simple but powerful position. Every voice matters. Every aspiration is valid. Every Zambian deserves a fair chance to live a dignified, prosperous life. Ishek, Zambia is yearning for renewal. I am calling for economic renewal, social renewal, and above all, democratic renewal. For our colleagues in the party, we know that we are challenged by many legal issues, but I should state clearly that where we are today is at the crossroads of challenge and possibility. It requires a collective feeling of unity and purpose. Unity for the leaders of the party that has served as a pillar of hope, and unity for a new national opening. All these rooted in concept, justice, and equity for all. I am standing as president of the Patriotic Front Party in order to lead a renewal of this party. We need a broad-based and inclusive approach. We need to embrace the spirit that the founders of this party embraced. That once became a united nation anchored on fairness and social justice. So, it's this reason why I am calling for an urgent engagement for all of us for a collective democratic dividend, one that only a revitalized PF can deliver. So, I am reaffirming my long-standing commitment, first expressed in 2022, following the retirement of His Excellency President Edgar Bonungu, rest his soul in peace, to stand for PF presidency.
Let's look at your chances, Dr. Chilufya, for the presidency regarding the Patriotic Front. It looks competitive. Are you upbeat? Are you confident that you are going to emerge victorious? If you will, we'll talk about that later. If you won't, what are you going to do?
Look, the Patriotic Front Party requires credible, trusted leadership anchored on delivery. And my record as a civil servant, as a parliamentarian, as a minister, bears testimony to what disciplined, visionary stewardship can achieve. I am offering myself for leadership in the Patriotic Front Party, not for self-accreditation, but for service to the people within the PF and beyond. Now, I must say that leadership must be tested. It must be transformational. It must be visionary. Now, as I say, I am positioned to take leadership in the Patriotic Front Party. I will talk about a very common phrase we use in Zambia, particularly in Zambia. We say, each kwanka, that's when kumampalanya. Each kwanka, that's when kumampalanya. Do you know what that means?
Yes, I do, Doc.
Each kwanka, that's when kumampalanya. A leader must have a demonstrable track record. They must show stamina. They must show courage and confidence. Leadership is not theory. It's practical delivery. When systems are collapsing, when pressure is mounting, when the country is calling for transformation, leadership must be provided. Now, I have recognizable track record of performance. A transformative work in the health sector, established compulsory health insurance through NIMA, and today, people do not go out of employment, and poverty has been alleviated in part through the introduction of NIMA.
You are the branch out of NIMA, Doc. Maybe you can just elaborate on that, just in case the listener did not know.
Before I focus on NIMA, I want to tell you, because I told you that each one encouragement of Kampala. I am the pioneer of the first ever medical university with over 10,000 students today. I am behind the construction of 6 specialist hospitals. The Cancer Hospital, the National Heart Hospital, the Newborn and Women Hospital in China, Kalindawaro Hospital, the Chitalu Hospital, the Lady Manawasa Hospital, and I am saying I am behind the expansion of dental clinics in Lusaka and beyond, which is first level secondary level hospitals. I am the architect of many transformational measures in the health sector, including the Zambia National Public Health Institute, and through it led the country in the fight against COVID and cholera. I re-engineered the health sector to focus on universal health coverage, prioritizing private health care, and putting the country firmly on track to attain universal coverage. Now, this is what visionary and transformational leadership can achieve. It's Kwanka, actually, not Mampala. So I am not just saying I will do this. I will replicate this leadership in the health sector in all other sectors, dealing with agriculture, with mining, with energy, with education, and many others. That's why I raised myself from the patriotic front party and beyond that.
Before we get further into those areas where you have scored, Doc, I'm listening to you attentively. You talk of credible leadership, tested leadership, transformational leadership, visionary leadership. We have seen from amongst your peers who are contesting this top position in the PF, many of them claim they were coronated, they are the chosen ones by ECL. Did you at any point discuss your ambition with late former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu regarding your prospects to lead the PF?
Well, I'll be embarrassed to talk about my conversation with ECL over the many years under him, and may so rest in peace. He said this country with dignity and honor, and he deserves a decent and dignified burial, fitting the office he occupies. Let all those who are involved in the interest of burying him honor us now and be sure that the man is buried up in Zambia with a dignified state funeral. So I'll quickly say I had engagement with over the future of the party for many years, but I will not go into details over any conversation that may have had with and I think that today the Patriotic Front Party must ensure that we put up a leadership that is transformational, that is visionary, that is tested, and any reference to Israel must not be used to divert or bias, towards any particular candidate. So I am of the view that all of us must assess the electorate and talk about what we're able to do for the electorate, talk about what we have done before, and market ourselves as such. We need credible leadership, we need tested leadership, we need visionary and transformational leadership, and to feel all situations that is to our bomba. I was quite sure that our bomba That's the name. That's why they work on the.
Do you see PF uniting after the convention, or are you pessimistic? You are one of those again who are saying maybe this convention, after all, won't take place owing to what you said earlier on, the legal challenges?
Well, look, like I said, we are at the crossroads of both challenges and opportunities. And if we are united, there is an opportunity for a rebate and renewal. And we must reignite the spirit of the founding father of the party. The late Michael Chilufya rest his soul in peace. And the man he handed over to, the late is the movement. We must honor the legacy by ensuring that we unite, sort out our interest problems as one family, and ensure that we come out with united, we rise again. It is possible. This is possible. We have always risen above our challenges and we will rise again. And beyond the peer leadership, we've got the Zambian people. The Zambian people who we must lead to confront the great national challenges of our time, the energy crisis, rebuilding healthcare, enhancing education, tackling climate change, investing in public infrastructure, embarking on the fourth industrial revolution that will create jobs for our youth, ensuring that beneficiation from our natural resources like mining, leadership that focuses on translating our natural resources to wealth through transformational and visionary leadership. This we can only do by focusing on agriculture. We have to look at the land that we have, the vast land resource that we have, mechanize, innovate, and ensure that we translate our natural resource of land into food security for our people, for the region, and beyond. We need to look at mechanization. Critical. We have 8% of the body, of the water body. Let us ensure that we utilize water to improve our agriculture. Secondly, on our minerals. Zambia is endowed with various mineral resources, gold, cobalt. We need to ensure that we have institutional leadership of mineral wealth to distribute to our Zambian people. That calls for leadership. It calls for leadership. And later on into the next nation, I'll talk about mineral beneficiation and my vision in the mining sector.
Okay, we'll get into that, Doc. I'm getting feedback already, response from the listener. They are begging that we mix with the local dialect, Doc.
It's called that man of Mampalania. Ele she good military. Kumbi, na diwombela Italo, na diwombela Uzeko. Kabiri, kuna womba pokuzipo. Ese ninga sonta po. Itirela ngoko. Na mwansu winyiche, mampele chuko, ya kupeke chalo. Prefire na wombele kwa chagu mi. Ese ninga womba na mukiwa yose. Ifi ya masambilo, ifi ya ulimi, ifi ya malaiki, if you are, detail. Nangu, almost like that, it's your batteries, what you have strong car, what you have Mampalania. You know, you're not a movement. Yes, we shall not tell you. Ukulale kila ulupia jabalwe wale yakutala. Ina pangile nada isha panga. Sita skala na it's made that lady in the hospital. There was that national hospital. No Matila Kalimba, Nango Sari, ate mwatwingira mu migodhi mwinde yabula ngati mukulira yena alishira okusasira late mukukola kuchirira homwe okukuta nyama na kupata sipatala ko ekyo nagombere kyalo okukula indera ndokuti na especially chipatala kwa mkubwa atemwa okumeta kwalo bonsi abe ngibo mukodhi le kyalo choice nile nali yo kuyo tekila tekila ikonka Kulovezi kungulani atema kuna lolo kulunga kama mimi hospitalioma empanga all chose you find my specific there. That's why I'm saying I'm an aggressive transformational business political leader, and whatever I did in the health sector I was able to replicate in the energy sector, agricultural sector, mining sector, educational sector, and indeed every other sector. The Zambia is desperate for all English. We find corporate English, we take money. Every English, every lesson support for a bomba. Whatever state you have bomba for, a teleco example, teleco, bomba for, why you don't practice about it. It's about people, selflessness, people centricity. And vision, and it's not about your thought. The Malanda company, the Kulanda, the Kulas, the Manakisha, the Kabiri. Then we relax about the where is a Pachalo? If in there and the night, that Orosha, the north, west, east, Mukasanga, quite is about getting I'm in hospital. It's an hour. Then we shall have to minimum. Well, I just 6,000. It's a nice minimum of 5,000. That already Japan COVID call it. I think they call it and came to the thing. I'm not going to push a call it with a now where they will and go to see. Now we know quite a bit of the Gombera, but not in the Parole Kishapan in that time. Pinamu for Lemon of the English, other very school, 10,000 in that time. Nina, nice year and there was a shop for the poor woman that
Doc, your journey in politics and talking about your attainments in the portfolios you saved in government seems to be about tested leadership. You brought about a revolution in the health sector, and you can allude to the many projects that were attained and scored under your reign. Let's get into 2026. Assuming you were elected as leader of the PF, are you ready to face the UPND? Are you ready to face President Hichilema on the ballot? And what are your chances, if at all, you are given the mandate by the PF?
Am I ready to face opposition? Am I ready to face the ruling party? You must know mission that politics is a competition of ideas on how to think. Politics is a competition of ideas on how to serve the people. Therefore, I'm telling you today that I am ready to compete on a level ground with anybody to confront the national challenges of our time which includes, like I said before, the energy crisis. To continue building on the gains you get in the health sector, to improve education and ensure access to education for all, to address the challenges of our time, that is climate change, to ensure that the youth unemployment, which is the epidemic of the moment, is challenged through the fourth industrial revolution. Zambia needs a fourth industrial revolution. We need to re-establish our industries in minimum, our pineapple. We need to ensure value addition programs, enhance the jobs for our youth. In Monushi, our banana plantation, we need to repair the land and ensure that we create jobs. At Mansabatu, we need to ensure that we rebuild the motor assembly plant in Livingston, all the drug manufacturing in Ghana. We had all these industries that shut down. We need a revolution to industrialize and create jobs for our youth. Look at our natural resources. I said earlier, agriculture. Abantu besukhanisha ukulima batwale ikhesina yakumba kokufundo nokuphela bashikile kolisiya kwani kodwa bayabwekela kumana kabili zatwaksa twataki bazizishika abantu lesu bakulafusha siyakunya leli anokusombola lesiyakunya ikaba isiyakiba
Are you suggesting introducing subsidies in the agro sector, Doc?
We need to be innovative. I will not call it anything. I will just say we need to be innovative and we need to provide a sustainable vision that will ensure that is enhanced through mechanization, irrigation, and just supporting the small scale farmers. We need to support the farmers, improve agriculture production. We need to invest in agriculture. We need to invest in poultry. Zambia has an opportunity to be a food basket, not only for its people at a cheaper rate, but for the region and beyond. So I am emphasizing that agriculture will be a key priority in my government.
Agriculture being a key priority of your government, Doc, let's look at inputs. How are you going to bring down the inputs? And let me repeat the question. Are we looking at subsidies? How are you going to turn around and revive the agro sector, Doc?
We need to translate land into wealth. We need to come up with sustainable, resilient programs that will translate our vast land, our vast water resources, huge water resources into wealth for our people. And I am not going to specifically state that we're going to really introduce subsidies, and say we need to create a critical mass of strategic thinkers, invest evidence in the moment to ensure that mechanization, irrigation, and any other methods of improving agriculture are used to improve support to our farmers in the inputs. We need to be informed by evidence, on how to improve agriculture. I will focus on a very, very strong team to drive agriculture forward.
Still on agriculture, Doc. Still on agriculture. Sorry, I keep on dragging you back and forth because we are also getting questions from the listener. And one of the questions we have received is, please tell Dr. Chilufya to touch on the milling prices as you continue discussing the agro sector, Doc.
vane umtengo wafunga okule awela parish okuwesha umtengo wafunga kufusha amataba kubyina efinde konkomesho yitelo kushapa kwachabone ni ifweta wele kushapa into isha abstra number 1 kwa tempanga atukwa te amafamu that farm nokusha bali abatingi otela ndacha most of the farmers nokusha support the commercial farmers. Let us ensure that our food so that amataba ya full that wafusha amataba extra waste kumtenga banshi tufuyile okumona pamongo okumona okutira ndona tusoke kora bashindire wawamya liste shide kumafamo balete ndina bale cyangwa kufunto na balele kesipele balende tufuyile okumongo totalo lokutira naba kwato mfuto ndi kabiri nokumukira banshi exkalengo umutengo wabunga ukabwele banshi mulando akuchatukusha opportunity lelo ikayo okubabukulani nje tufuyita olekisha bitamataba utolekisha pasha kujasindi ba millet ba sofa utolekisha pa what you call diversification and this is abstract that's all that got on tempo so that what shablo ile mala kandi bachwa bakambula basoga mabete yakuyetisha ndipo tutapasa kwa mambo mukulima ndipo kula ndokutia tengo wa Mungu wa kabisa ofiro wala pashi longa tuwabona na vekala chanzo okubola okutira nati batundi n'abajja kibuli balabombesha omala kusabe employee bali masana mataba kuwakula bali masana mataba nga twabatundira omutengo wabunga okabwera panshi lelo twapata ekimuno okubola okutira n'okukwazisa mu muliti kuba okuya oluyigire twabula n'abasooka okubwe bakalapashi abakukire sakwe batuma mu mishini kula tundira bakimuliri okubola okutira lebo kyako emisango emo nakubombere emo ipya ya kumba abantu betu wale kwata bakusokula eskulile po so nde konkobecha abantu betu ubunga bule ma utego wabunga bule mo kutalekeshapo nikolekeshapo akufusha ataba okubola okutira abantu betu bakwate shukula kwate ubunga upamkengo uskulu.
Let's go to the energy sector, Doc. Zambia is currently facing a crisis in this sector. Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, in government, as President of Zambia, if God allows, how are you going to resolve the energy crisis?
We said energy is an enabler. Energy is an enabler of other sustainable development goals. Na tukwata amalaiti wapate shuku ya kwate fitolero ifya kubosha okulunda po yatubelina okulunda po yatubelina sombola mushiri mwana rusheki ngawambona kulwa po kwa mwangalini kwa libasukira ngawambona kumigo kuko chuko kalika koboti kwa liba kopa wamona iyo kitati wamona ama mani kwa ayakale mulwa kula for instance wamona kali bokadi yali kwata standard division yali kwata na mufuka division wamona muri india kitati standard division yali kwata mashafu ya kitati dola SOB na silver oko tuya kobo na kobo mtengo wa kobo tunaenda 1000 kwacha nokuya pamulu kila mwezi lelo yatakutinga Yatukwete amalight na energy. Ikikashika kwa amaconcept. Lero tufuna twakutanga smelta ayakila nomba that's what we call value addition. But a high grade compound yakutuleshisha kompengo usuku. If you tell and energy, it will be my top priority because it will enable value addition in agriculture, in mining, and it will unlock education, health, and indeed any other sectors. They call commercial, small scale mining. I want to say, Northwestern Africa, exploration is very expensive. I want to just look at one Chitalu. Now, quite sure we can asanga gold, kubasanga katukatunile not mara kuna kuchila to fijabaleli finya kushili to afista process na tukata basimeza kwata nomba I'm product of value addition. It was from the groups to it shows the fiber energy. It's on the confirmation here. I will accelerate the transition towards the energy mix that looks at coal, solar, hydropower, windmill, to ensure that around the you not schedule. You have to get a malai. There was your therefore, I got to a malai tea. A malai tea, a very like core. To have your core. I remember the water Mulusaka. I have to come to core. The Amalai Galley. Don't you should avoid it. But I remember the shop. I saw that. Very kind of so I'm I have number I have both very bad thing. It's quite a malay. You take to a person. Pula, Choteko, Kumansa, and Balepanga, solar plant, shift the mother.
I hear you, Doc. I hear you. You plan about the energy mix, maybe perhaps another ambitious futuristic question, Doc. Zambians are desperate and they are looking at time frames. What is the time frame? You are voted into office August next year. How long is it going to take you, Doc, to revive this sector?
I was minister from 2016 to 2021. Now, Bangladesh strategic plan at Temwa, Butantika was what bomba from 2017 to 2021. Now, the election is about 10,000 minimum, and English 25,000 by 2021. Now, Tirenka Pudipatara, Ama special justice. Na likulile national hospital Lindawalo Chitalu expansion of capital levy a newborn and living hospital. Na tiletuka kulefata sisi ama hospital. Kabie likulu kumbu kuna lolo kuli mugunga. Kabie likulu kumbu kabie likulu kazungula. Kabie lukalomo kabie kwende. Kabie ni umansa na spata kuvuki. Kabie likunimba. So it's only not the official time frame. When I was very serious about it, what takes more than China was conquest of Australia. The China still not found. It was a still understanding. But I see that school must be home. But she falls. It's on the fall. But I don't know put that. What's the problem of I'm a generation plan. If you're number one. But if we sort out our energy problems, we'll be able to address sustainable development goals. Not only sustainable development goals on energy itself, but we'll be able to ensure access to health services for everyone, education for all, access to clean and safe water, and we'll be able to power the national revolution ensure that we create jobs for our youth countrywide. Mission to also take to look the children patent store about 20 million. Now we take children movement to about 20 million. Now we got a matter of now we got a woman to man. Now we got 10 million. Yes, man. They could mission. They were not going to make good new course. As long as the party Bokari, that's for around time and Muslim. Our level go. No say to any package for the acquisition of the minimum. First, I can apply to the investor. Look at you opening a smelter by improving energy. Let's create jobs. Look at Monokutila, whatever Kalapashina, solo by engineer, I was very tired. I'm to our Western. Now, what more for they are fantastic. Now, I'm going to open abasimeo abataali w'omubino leero twalikwata basolo bakalapashi abaikola tubuki bambaye kalake mine twabomba nabo investor ayisa abantu to increase production icyuma cyacyaro icyuma cya education icyuma cya kutwara health icyuma cya kutwara ikari y'abantu in that exercise that as Zambia, we are very well endowed with mineral resources, with land, we have human capital, and we have to obtain our human capital base. We have also a character, so to have a community, actually, home, toilet, but re-energize our mind. We need to reopen, rejuvenate our smelter, value addition processes. Let's stop selling everything, but let's high grade the product of copper, manganese, copper, sugilite, and so on and so forth. As I boast about being tested, transformation, and visionary, I believe in strategic plans at Kuma, Okubango wants to work with vision at Temo Ichimono, let's not put it as well. We need leadership that flex, that is people centric, that focuses on people, or that looks like uplifting our people out of poverty, and we're able to do it by translating our natural resources into wealth through visionary, transformational leadership.
Still on energy, Doc, checks and balances this time. In your view, where is the current government getting it all wrong when it comes to the energy mix, the energy sector?
Look, I've said this and I'll repeat. Zambia has gone through a demographic transition. The energy we needed years back and the energy we need today, they're poles apart. Actually, I'm not the media. They don't return to these guys. Industries that we had then may have been less than what we have today. We need to improve our investment in energy infrastructure. The popular lady, Bugulambulu, Ayanganama. Obu take over what is the Makano Fly Chila population trading? Bugulambulu, Ayanganama. But we live up in the shop of Chila. Hydro, coal, no say, no, yala food, Lokutila, Wakwata, villages. Shiletiwa Kutila, once a forever Puluma, where the Bombere Sada, Kutila to African on energy. And just saying, Molambulu, so let's look at people with their hands on the meter for state power and ensure that we demand as people, as Zambians, that we end not shedding. We need to accelerate the transition to this end mix. So we invest in coal, hydro, solar, wind power. And this is not too much to ask for. It is the expectation of the people that are trusting a group of people power to govern them. It's a social contract. So it is not being controversial. It demands that. Load shedding is complete. 2 hours, 3 hours, okay? The businesses are collapsing. It's an agent. There's an agent someone. The government and all of us to put our intellectual resources to ensure that we handle the energy crisis. Without handling the energy crisis, we will not be able to decarbonize. We will not be able to do vaccination. We will not be able to ensure access to health and education for all. We will not be able to make life efficient. We will not be able to provide water and sanitation to all. Energy is top priority and the crisis of the moment that the government must handle like yesterday.
The audience you are talking to, Doc, is varied, heterogeneous, and the constituents are many. We've got miners listening to you, civil servants are listening to you, the Gen Zs, the youths, and the women. Some of them are laggards, are saying, we have been waking up every after 5 years at 4 a.m., lining up, nothing is changing. Any renewed message of hope from yourself as you look at the race to plot one?
Ekikwanka Kampala naliwombera ekyalo babiri nalibona okupiira twakwata issue y'abantu okusosial yabaleeta mpesa nkyakubalenda omusaabatishe okula kusala kumukubuku kumanyiza abantu okutala kubuku nawesha kumuka nawesha nakumbiku kusiyoma okufumako muntu awukamuula. I have recognized the people there. And I'm saying our youths should have, if they invest in leadership, that is missionary. Utonguchu kwete chimondo. Utonguchu usaka mene. Utonguchu pakutula kwa abantu. La shapa mukuba. Twamuno kuyawa mukudira abantu. Abo kwa abantu. Nabasha bachanga wose nabasha bakefile wose futhi waloleka to improve production bakudisa abantu kulimo abasiyeyo ukuthi improve energy provision babukuthatha amukulaska value addition nokulashaka concept abantu bakopoti esingena komunye nakopa nawo mthetho nakumbethi God not quite most western program bakwata kumuchini abatuleta ikitokela ishirevo da kubomba makasana ibachinga iyo ibachinga no kuba batasi batera malaika bale ibombe tasa ikitinde ya mumbe bakwata mu kumu na ubavula modi na kulafira uma bakata kolecho cyangwa icyakwafurisha abantu bose ishibi septemba isto tukashwaye na sente twashitulikira ukwivombera small scale mining malayisense ubulimi industrialization ukwisula ama-industry natolosha dapa abavomfi inde for commercial business inde kila nyuma mpati umumni gold ukula abamarikari 55 60 years over uteko family over my whatsapp bali shwaya kwa by la steriliza hii aba ishmoku bo ama 50 kwenye kila ikitala mtasunga sana is free to share for let's use our capital of diaspora wabekala cyangwa abayikala kugira kindi abasambi kabiri abakwata ama skills extra ifile kwa katana project partnership ensure that Zambia is developed. So in the conclusion, apart from the natural resources that we're talking about, I will critically look at the human capital index, both in Zambia and the diaspora, to ensure that we have a strategic, path-breaking plan to translate Zambia's natural resources into the world. And we can deliver Zambia into a prosperous nation. That's why we need renewal. We need to rebase. We need to ensure that Zambia gets on a different track altogether. Well, let's apologize for natural resources. Well, we're not apologetic about how we relate with external resources on our own natural beneficiation of our minerals, of our land, of our human capital to tilt towards the Zambian people. Visionary and traditional leadership. And that's what I am ready to provide.
Before we get to the mining sector, Doc, I want to dare you, because the questions I'm getting from different people are quite interesting. And I know a number of public service workers, civil servants are listening. One of the interesting questions I've received is that when late Mike Osata came into power, across the board, he gave civil servants 1,500 as a salary hike. What are you promising? Let's get it from you. Elections, you are making promises. You are vying for leadership. Let's get it from you, Doc.
Akamano kupoman baban. Nefumo kutanga. Akamano kupoman kupoman. Nefumo kutanga baban. I am emphasizing this. Leadership is about people. So I am a people-centric person. I am selfless. The welfare of people in the country is my top priority. In the Bombay, each to Shava, each to Shava, never for this Kalamba, Kalamba Shop. It's the land that is if you're not London, each one goes for a family. Now, the one Babu which somebody was yours. Now, you shop about. Now, you look like a shop, it's an upset. Now, the pair of which you can take about it. Let's take about it. Everybody, the Minister of Health, ever to be the school of me. We should have more orders of the minister also occurring before. If you want the machine to Katana, but never Tata. Then I'm Dokuti. To free to away so much. It's well sharp. Kuba wolf. I'm a wolf. If I'm a woman, okay, fire. I've now very much. I've another. Yeah. Issues of labor is my top priority. And this we must agree as public employer, private sector employer. And I am saying, in each color, we go Isha and which is little factor in the goal. Not the vote or shut down. It's not like a shot. My industry just take making music. It's not like a shot. How much now that I follow station? It's not like a shot. But no, the poor. But good, but corporate, corporate to the food like money. Look at shot. That is for my all the workers is like their remuneration is my top priority. Now, this one of I think we are going to do Aquatic component. We are our Kalova, I'm a financing institution. It's to go via equity like the financing institutions. Vakalova, I'm combined. I'm a place with Piavo, via or now. For a 5 days, we are going under less than 1,000 price. We let to allow like a chapati in the Rayo. To allow like Chapari, no Monocuti, like we are one to back. uli abaleki bashairo aba machitungula bashairo bane kwetu alolekisa abantu bese bachula mwandu wakutaba lefo kutachira kuli bilawa na Yesu ukulia aleya no mbaki bashairo uli awa financing institution apesi pimo pa financing institution umuntu aze kumando konfia na kulumo shondera ndokutira ifolele yama special with my priority. If it means that we need to start relationships with so-called private financing institutions in order to keep up the business for our health, our workers in the country, we just have to do that.
Let's get to the mining sector, and the miners are eagerly waiting to get it from you. Let me push you, let me take you across the DRC. A foreman in the DRC, a driver in the DRC, same minerals, they are getting good money, but as compared to Zambia, the salaries, wages of miners, quite low. How are you going to aid the miners to ensure that they get value out of their labor?
It's about our labor force. This is the minimum you can pay a worker. So let's shut up because this must be seen. So we must look at the minimum wage. It seems to be any economy. If you see, Washington also like I'm no mistake for if the world is a second holiday, the other was wow. The next look the stimulation feeding him, more Maya, no Mukowesu, abantu basha yo. If you let look, in Mombele, can't touch. In Mombele, Mopan. In Mombele, we chat. KCM, which I call a past, Black Mountain. I'm a small scale miner.
And that's one area where your colleagues are very hesitant to touch, Honorable Chilufya. You have spoken about the small scale miners or the Jerabos, and they don't mince what politicians say. What are you telling them?
I have said, and I said, whatever places like I born and was small scale miner, where Zambia. I mean, Mr. Penn, small scale miner. I remember that we catch the fire in the country last year. Take over you. Who will be a sapamon? But I wish that was a life. Not monoculture. I listen to them. Who take go? I don't want to come on. Iya kutoka iya kutanda mkuu ku Tanzania goji walaliza leo kwa ndaba senta na mkiza baba ni abapoka mota so kekuti kishina wadawa sangire ko balabale ibombe na kula ndo kuti ifune ili na iwe ndina ko ni wosi wosi mai. Later, tax you really no price. Who take over Shanga? Naya Ali. If you are quarter, the curriculum I send that you 15. But I have a remember Shanga, we Kashia Leswaya. Who choose she who will able to the air for the so I book some cool by you. This
is a very sensitive topic, Honorable Chilufya.
I am not trying to talk about it. We need to review the way we relate with
Are you promising them the dump size? Let me put it that way.
Money, Abhishek. Mamishek, let's be fair to ourselves. Mamishek,
Yes, I'm getting you. We're together, Doc. Still following you keenly.
Na baba katika haka hivi no teko wao. Sabaki na wakati ndio maana rangu wa kina bo. Basi ndio wakabobea sana. Kumologo tena. Basmos ke o mai. Resanga mumu. Inafondela za kutira. Sio somo twana ina. Sapani ule lufyanga ngatira kuchira akawuswe nakwebera tukachira ile kubachita sapani ule fyenge ngo ba provincial minister bakuru no kuchira abekala chabo ukopala emisefela alilefo bajera bo bonke hari kisapani black man sapani yo ahora lo que estamos que mais vamos no kutia una cosa no la cueva private y no una cosa no no that's this from now isso buscando no kutia onde se não que será isso não é que puxa o tempo esse é jogo que muito essa é como Cuba. É que o nocutina, agora que vês, lá quarta mão. A mexer, isso que irá para mim. Qual vez se ela fica perto vizinho? Zambia, ela ali, mining. Agora que vês, vai tirar a mão. Na agriculture, o filho vai estar no mundo. Ensinando o túmulo esse homem, pelo urinho, o tchai, o tira, a ficha, a mundo fechado. Avança a ver, a filha vai estar a pouco. O é profissão, isso. Esse vai vir que é um teco. Isso não é bom teco. O que vai lá ele, vem na copa, o cabo, mas é bem deliver.
Okay, in case you have just tuned in, this is a special paid for political program, and on this special paid for political program, we are talking to PF presidential hopeful Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, who is also the current lawmaker for Mansa, and at the same time is a former health minister. Let's look at the mining taxation regime. If Zambians give you that mandate, if you are given the mandate by the PF and you are on the ballot, you get into State House. Do we see your administration touching on the current mining taxation policy? Okay, we're going to join Doc in the next minute or so. Let's get a rebut, or let's get to our studio guest. That's Mr. Gift Chvale, Youth Chairman PF. He's been following the program. Give us a summary.
Yeah, Mishek, like we promised this afternoon, tuachilaya bakomfwabe sokutila ifwe pamonga ba PF Mfuria District Media Team twakula leta ma presidential candidates yesu okutila bala bashikwete shuko ya kulanda nabo pamona ma delegates yesu kuti bayumfuila bene efu ya ma candidates besu bayipekenye ukubombele chalo chesu na pate yesu ya Patriotic Front. So this time na tuleta na kabiri ba Chitalu Chilufya abo abale landa pafyo bakachita ngabcha kuti basendo ubutungulushi wa Patriotic Front, and subsequently in 2026 bawina bu president ubwa chino chalo cha Zambia na tuyumfuilo kuti anaba touching efintu efingi ifyefyo balefwaya ukubombela abekala chalo na balolesha pa chiputula cha bulimi n'abalanda okutira ekiputula kya bulimi. It's a very very important sector, and therefore he is going to put much emphasis on the agricultural sector, because balefwayo okutira kino kyalo kile kita produce ifyakulya efingi pakuti nga kyakuti bonse ifwefe bali muri kino kyalo twakwanina efyakulya kuti twashitishako na kunse ya kyalo. Lelo balandire ba Chitalu Chilufya okutila okushitisha kunse kwa kyalo, it's not a priority yabo ku making sure kutila umutengo wa kyakulya kyesu kintu twabelesha ikyabwali nango obunga kifuire kyabwera panshi nga muleyibukisha mwebekala kyalo ba Copper Belt nango abena mufulira muleyibukisha okutila obubuteko bulipo bwaishilela ya bena Zambia okutila bakula shitobunga pali 50 kwacha. Lelo nga mwatimuloleshe mwala sasa ngo kutila ubo bwali bufi ubwafita fititi bwali fie bufi ubwafita fititi pantu pali inonshita tuleshita ubunga pamutengo uwapa mulu. Ubu buteko bulipo bwala ili abena Zambia ukutila nga baisapo bena bakesa bwesha umutengo wa fertilizer ukubwesha pa 250 kwacha. Lelo nga kyakuti mwatimu mone pali inonshita bonse imwe kuti mwasuminisha nyana ine mwe farmers ukutila umutengo wa fertilizer uli over 1200 kwacha. Twali umfuile ishi kuisha fuma kweshi nono iliyo ba inkonkani yaba kateka bwa kino kyalo baishilela ndo kutila umutengo wa fertilizer walabwela pa 750. Nombali mbi kuti batweba ko kutila busheni shopu nshi iyo eyo baleshitishako umutengo nangu umufundo pali 250. Tatwishi be shop muno mufulila ukweko tunga shito umufundo pa mutengo wa 750 kwacha. Bonse tulesiminishanya ukutila umutengo wa fertilizer uchili pa mulu pati batula ile ukutila umutengo wa fertilizer ukabwela pa 250. Lelo ba Chitalu Chilufya bena balandiri okutila nga baisapo baka making sure okutila umutengo wa mfundo ukabwela panshi pakuti ama farmers baka kwanishe ukulali mefya kuli efingi pakuti no mutengo wa bunga muri kino ekyalo ubwele panshi. So fingi fintu efyo ba Chitalu Chilufya balandile abo abalini ba aspiring candidate aba Patriotic Front iliyo tukaya ku convention.
Okay, let's take a breather, and after the breather we're going to join Dr. Chitalu Chilufya so that he winds up and he says his goodbyes to the listener.
Kula mitundu,
laba silikupita kuchibonongeko mbale wanga jenjala mtundu wanga fuko langa ukale maso ona sikuchitika kunja kuchingondira tawa atu wango pana kupeleka na wopanda chifundo kanisa panda pake mala mwambetse tsana ambuya nati umukonde msabo monga utigondela ndisakulitse mtendele kama kamsanje ono ngati nzelu yaditela ndimufuse yes.
Okay, let's sum up. And Doc, you've got 5 minutes to talk to the Copper Belt, to talk to the delegates from the region coming to the PF convention to be held in a couple of days. Hello, Doc. Yes, sir. You've got 5 minutes to make your final appeal to the delegates from the Copper Belt listening to you at this juncture regarding the forthcoming PF convention in the next few days.
Fora funda abana bo kuchudu to funda upia kwa byanza but saba choso noweso aba kuri ndapisho sio kubafula kanshi abana b'insta ibosita yabale n'iplatform sokonko kwa fulla Let's make it very tough. I'm getting things. Para quatro capombo, para quatro contratos. Ele vai exposto. Então ele coloca isso. So mineral should go back to 5%. Total production should go up 5%. It's balanced with. Yes, what that is not taxation, not to pay corporate tax. You can't do that. Let's let you have a question. Yes, let's let capital allow taxing. Yes, let's let you. So everybody later. It's a free to balance sheet. Talking about it, so I am saying, the world is that. Balance it. We have adequate resources. We bring it to 5%. There is minimum. We can recoup less of that and the invest in social or immediately have a production. The 10 years of taxation, not to pay corporate tax. You can't do that. Let's balance it. The capital allowance taxing. When you buy machines, so that included in the balance sheet. It's included in the balance sheet and it's tax again. We can't expect corporates from paying capital allowance taxing. So that's my summary of money. Namuso Okila Ere Nazan vachikunotaura katulole kutsere mulushi otomulushi kumaka otomulushi otoenda dapo oshobwa but ile ikwangu na mama kolometa let's the conclusion tunangwanke wale watu wanatisha vote walijidina na kujipusha kisha wanaendelea hapo tulingana na pesa watu kopedi studio pia kwa kutwala pasi ambaso ndio wongele kwa direction ile ndeti napangile ni napangile isipatalo uko kito kukusa kili chamboli napangile isipatalo uko kumupulira kulipo nyama kumasaiti chira hombo inapangile bekante hizo hospital ile kusha inashinaambile isipatalo wale kusha kubwa na mkubwa nene sure talking about 55,000. National Public Institute. Maybe one also medical university. National Heart Hospital. That are elections that are in the Bishop, Mr. Mchanchesu. Nango to Atila T. Kuli Musho, Kusasheki Kulia. Nango Kumwanzi. Nangolexa kumitete ukuze tulakwa kuishishe but na sema parents abuna kushefatala na kushefatala kuimusho kumitete kwatuza kuchinonwe lukui nango mipashishi ukwai letirati ile leukote chimonwa takupibula imodeli yesu mchana mona kutila esolesa ati para nasyo omukuba impanga ameshi abantu abasabira kabira bacyankura kumona kutira twa iliule tumunoshi abantu besu bakatafuka. As a result, I am running for PF presidency, for renewal, for rebirth, for transformation, and I've got a recognizable track record, setting the Ministry of Health firmly on track for Zambia to attain universal health coverage, building infrastructure, reviewing the healthcare financing mechanism, setting up NEMA, pioneering the first ever public health, public medical university, setting up VACOMs to train specialists, Zambia National Public Health Institute, recruiting 25,000 health workers, decentralizing medical stores to create hubs in all the provinces to collapse the distances that our people move. That is the transformation I laid in the health sector, and I'll do this in the NH sector, in the agriculture sector, in the transport sector, education sector, and indeed all other sectors.
Doc, thank you so much, and we wish you luck. That has been our guest this evening on this special paid for program was Dr. Chitalu Chilufya from the Patriotic Front. He is a current lawmaker for Mansa Central. At the same time, he's former health minister in the PF regime. He's one of the presidential aspirants in the opposition Patriotic Front, which goes to their convention. They are hosting their convention, having their convention in a couple of days. And our guest in studio has been Mr. Gifter Chivale. Mr. Chivale, before we say our goodbyes, let us get back to the points alluded to by Dr. Chitalu Chilufya for the sake of the listener.
Yes, Chitalu Chilufya balanda okutira sontepo wabo. Iliyo twakwete obuteko bwaba Edgar Chakwalungu, Chitalu Chilufya bali ba health minister. Bonse twali mwene mibombere yabo intu babombere. Ngani muno mumfulira kuti twasonta fye ifintu ifingi. Iria mule mona Mufulira District Hospital ba Chitalu Chilufya ba chimpile. Nga mwaya kulia kukawama East iria mini hospital. Iyo tule mona kulia ni ba Chitalu Chilufya under the Patriotic Front. So what are we saying? What we are saying is that the Patriotic Front set this country on a very ambitious infrastructure development. And one of the people who contributed to that chiriachi monwa chintu basata bakwete ni Chitalu Chilufya under the leadership of His Excellency the late former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Chitalu Chilufya n'abalanda efintu ifingi ukutila bali kwate chimonwa icha kuchinja chino chalo filiafi ne bachinjishe health sector inonshita abapina fwe bapina tule kwata ishuko ili ya kukwata proper health care kuma hospital umulandu wafyo baletere ba Chitalu Chilufya nima inonshita kuti mwakwata emiti inonshita kuti mwakwata proper health care kuma doctors besu nangu chakuta mukwetendala meshingi umulandu wa ba Chitalu Chilufya. So pamonga ba Patriotic Front Mufulira District Media Team ile eloto amiletela ma aspiring candidates yabili abakubalirapo bachibani ba makebizulu naba milondolera nabena naba popolola efintu ifingi inonshita obushiku twamiletela ba Chitalu Chilufya na mubomfwana bena. So pali imwe bashakwa kwatens ishuko ili akusangwa kulia ku convention nangu imwe tamuli ba delegate mwayumfuila ama presidential candidates yantu ifwe ba Patriotic Front tukwete te ababeka babiri yo na tukwata na bambi abali 8 na limiretele ba Brian Mundubile na miretela ba Makebizulu nomba na miretela ba Chitalu Chilufya twamiretela abali batatu tukamiretela na bambia bali 7 pakuti muyumfira mwebe na Zambia no kumono kutira Patriotic Front is ready to take over government in 2026. Twalilireni ifyofine ukubaba ashpa mwema PF members nama delegates make an informed choice when you go to the polls at the convention.
Thank you so much. That's Mr. Gift Achwale, and thank you so much for listening to Mafken FM radio, and we shall talk on Sunday.